that no clarification. Minister is going to reply, please. That not the
Sir, as regards to black money,
please.
sir. As regards to black money, our party supremo
Please, hear it.
and our Honourable People's Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu has, Dr. Puratchi Thalaivi Amma, has clearly stated in her election manifesto during the recently held Lok Sabha elections, sir,
Please order, please.
that our top priority will be to bring black monies which is stashed abroad or in the tax havens, sir, which will create a great boost in the overall development of our country and in the economic growth of our country, as well as the upliftment of the downtrodden, and in bringing and developing a strong nation, sir. Sir, the present government has filed a review petition in the Supreme Court to bring in amendments to its previous verdict to disclose the names of 700 HSBC account holders who have stashed their money in Swiss banks, sir. They have been referring to this confidentiality clause in the double taxation avoidance treaty, which is against disclosure, sir. The question is whether the names for disclosure is being violating the treaty with Switzerland. The government fears that the treaty with Switzerland will stall further information from that country, sir, and will also adversely affect our prospects with other countries as well, sir. It will drastically curtail our chances of entering into similar agreement with US that is being negotiated, sir. But curiously, as Mr. Honourable Member of Parliament, Mr. Mehta, has mentioned, Mr. Gurumurthy, a close associate of BJP and a columnist, claims that the list of HSB account holders has been obtained from the stolen documents of France, and India's agreement with France does not prohibit the disclosure, sir. According to him, neither the agreement with Germany, through whom we got the 28 names of Indians who have stashed their money in the Liechtenstein Bank, bans disclosure. It will not come in the way of negotiations with US, since the country is also a victim of this malady, sir. But the government's insistence on these fictitious reasons in the SIT also smacks of ulterior motives and goes against its spirit to unearth the black money, sir. Sir, the Honourable Supreme Court has again and again refused to accept the arguments of the governments for non-disclosure. SC found out that these treaties are not against all disclosures, and further, taking it for granted that they impose total restrictions, then they are against the fundamental rights enshrined in our Constitution, sir. But still, the government persists on its frivolous argument. Sir, the government's plea that further information will be stalled by the disclosure is ludicrous, since the Indian governments so far and so forth have not obtained any of the list legally from the countries abroad. And now, Swiss government has categorically stated that the UN's Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, that is OECD, sir, Declaration for Automatic Exchange of Information, to which it is a signatory, does not entail it to reveal information with regards to stolen documents, sir. Sir, the government's total focus on bringing black money is premised on the assumption that illicit money is only parked in tax havens, sir. It does not consider the phenomenon of round-tripping of black money in the form of investments. It is not focusing on preventing the generation and outflow of unaccounted money, sir. The Prevention of Money Laundering Act needs to be amended suitably so that money laundering is declared as a criminal offense. On top of this, economic sanctions need to be imposed on countries which refuse to part with information, sir. The government should stop allowing participatory notes through which unregistered individuals and shell companies are investing huge black money in the share market through SEBI-registered foreign institutional investors, sir. They could also accrue heavy dividends. The regulators have no way to identify them, sir. The double taxation is avoided treaty signed with Mauritius has facilitated tax evaders to bring the illegal money into our country without disclosing their identities and to evade taxes through post-box companies, sir. Almost half of India's FDI comes from offshore companies registered in Mauritius. Though the special investigation team that is set is constituted in right earnest, sir, it has got its own limitations, sir. The chairman of SIT, Mr. Justice M.D. Shah, has rightly said that there are complexities in the SIT's tasks. American Senator Carl Levin, head of Special Investigation Office of U.S. Senate, is skeptical about the success of Indian SIT, since despite criminal suits filed against them in Swiss Bank UBS in 2009, they could receive only 4,500 names out of the 52,000 potential U.S. tax evaders, sir. According to him, in the Credit Suisse case, the rate of success was even worse. At the backdrop of this scenario, sir, we can assume the possible success rate of our SIT, sir. Further, SIT by itself is not an investigative agency, sir. It has to depend heavily on government agencies like the CBI and the ED, which are like cage parrots as mentioned by our honourable members, sir. Sir, further, the big fish, which has got a lot of money in the tax havens, is very clever. It sends illegal money to foreign banks through layering and through shell companies. When it is not in its name, how SIT can find out, sir? Further, it will be constantly floating its illegal money from one bank to another. No sooner does SIT catch it, it could empty its account. Take the case of Hassan Ali Khan and his associate Kashinath Taparaya. So during the CBI raid, it was found with documentary evidence that they have a deposit of $8.04 billion in UBS bank account in Zurich, sir. But in the white paper submitted in 2011 by the then finance minister, this deposit has been scaled down to a mere $60,000, sir. So now when he is in jail, the account is said to have been emptied. Further, no forthright investigation has been carried out on the valid information given by Hassan Ali and his associate, who revealed the names of political and corporate bigwigs who were their associates in this illegal business, sir. Sir, the black money is a wasted money. It has got no utility value, sir. When it is transferred abroad, there is actually a drain of surplus affecting domestic investment and consumption. When it remains here, it functions as a non-performing and non-productive asset, having been invested in secondary stock market, real estate, and in luxury consumption areas. Since it hovers around the elite, it worsens the inequality level still further, sir. It erodes states' much-needed expenditure that would have benefited the poor and the marginal people, cutting down the means of their livelihood and the improved quality of life, sir. According to reliable estimates, sir, it forms 50% of our GDP. Between 2002 and 2011, sir, $343.04 billion of illegal money has gone abroad. Sir, in the beginning of this period, India was the 5th largest in the outflow of illegal money, sir. But at the end of the period, we have advanced to 3rd place in the world. This is a tremendous achievement. This can be when compared to the poor record of a country in the various growth parameters in the world. Indian economy had a potential for 12% growth rate, sir, but because of black money, it is restricted to 7% only, sir. None can do so much harm to our country's growth. They are challenging the government by running a parallel economy, sir, but still they have utmost protection of law, sir. They could easily escape with impunity, sir. Sir, in the post-colonial period, tax havens were deliberately and consciously set up by the developed countries to siphon off capital from third world countries, sir. In the post-liberalization period from 1991, illicit capital outflow has increased significantly. According to Global Financial Integrity, 68% of India's aggregate illicit capital loss had occurred after India's economic reform in 1991, sir. Given the NDA's commitment to the same economic model and its close proximity with corporates, can the NDA government curb generation of black wealth and bring back the black money stash abroad, sir? Sir, before I could conclude, sir, I want to ask one question, sir. Sir, our Prime Minister, during his election campaign, has promised to credit rupees 15 lakh each and every Indian's account of the total black money to be retrieved, sir. Sir, the Honourable Home Minister has then vouched for completing this job within 100 days, sir. Based on this promise, after the government assumed power, many have brought loans and few have lent loans. Every citizen of India awaits eagerly as to when this amount will be credited to this account or his account, her account, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.